Nick Fuentes actually admits to being racist on the Piers Morgan show and actually defends his dad, says his dad is not racist. Honestly, just play a clip for y'all real quick.
You know, I want white kids, and I don't want my white kids bringing home black people to marry. It's racial for me. And call me racist. Oh, very Christian of you. I don't give a fuck.
I mean, it couldn't be clearer, really, unless you want to say that's another of your jokes. But you're basically saying, yeah, I'm a racist, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
You're fine with saying you're a racist?
Totally. I think everybody's racist. I think everybody, if we're being honest, is racist. I think everybody, the only people that aren't racist or pretend not to be are white people to their detriment. Everybody else is racist.
But earlier in the interview, you got aggrieved at the idea that your father was a racist. You wanted to make emphatically sure.
Yeah, because
he's not.
Because my father doesn't share my same views on that.
So he's the exception to everyone's a racist.
Well, everybody's a little bit racist. You're right. So maybe everybody. The difference is you're attacking my father. You know, he could get fired from his job.
I'm not attacking your father.
You are.
No, I'm not. I don't know your father. And to be clear, I have no knowledge about him at all.
Well, then let's leave him out of it. Let's leave him out of it if you don't know him.
Hang on, Nick. You put that story into the public domain on your show. I'm simply reminding you of what you told everybody, millions of people, about your father. If you now want to retract it, fine. If you want to say it was a joke, which is what your position was earlier, fine. But I'm allowed to put to you things you've said publicly. That's not unfair. That's not me targeting your father. You put that story about him out there.
You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
I'm asking you about a pretty shocking anecdote, which to me looked like you were saying your father made decisions about where you as a family would eat based on skin color of people who worked at these places. If you say, or use them, if you say that is not what you meant, that's fine. You can respond any way you like. But the idea I can't ask you about it without you saying I'm attacking your father is ridiculous.
Well, you are, and you know what you're doing. And there's a political culture in America where if you have the wrong views, you get fired from your job. And my father has a job. And if you go on here and say, you charge him with racism or something, and I'm put in a position where I don't look like I'm sticking to my guns if I don't say my father's a racist, you're putting him in jeopardy, and he's not here to defend himself or explain his views. And it's very low, and I think you know exactly what you're doing, and people can see what you're doing. I'll defend my views, and I think that, so let's leave him out of it. Let's just not talk about my father, because my father isn't here. I'm here.
Okay, well, then do you accept that you shouldn't talk?
Okay,
listen, that's fine. But then do you accept you shouldn't talk about your father on your show? And you shouldn't tell...
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So it's fine for you to put a story out there which would make most people who listened to that story or watched it at the time on your show conclude that he was racist. It's fine for you to do that. But if I then ask you about it, I'm the one who's being unfair and I've crossed a line. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you're being malicious.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Listen, people are watching this live. They can draw their own conclusions about whether what I just did.
And they will.
Yeah, and I'm sure afterwards, by the way, you'll say, he ambushed me with your own words. With your own words.
That's a little presumptuous. I'm not going to say it's an ambush, but I think that's a low blow. And I think you know what you're doing, and that's fine. You're a tabloid journalist. I expected that. I don't think it's an ambush because I knew it would be like this. And people will see what you're doing, and I think they'll say it's low. But as far as you want to talk about racism,
I do.
Let's talk about racism. Let's leave my dad out of it.
Look, you've admitted you're a racist, correct?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Own it.
Okay, that's fine. You're perfectly entitled in a free democratic society to stare down the barrel of his camera and tell me you're a racist. People can judge you accordingly. Many people who have assumed that you're a racist will now have heard it from your own lips. That's fine.
There you go.
That's the point. The point of this interview.
Chad, my conclusion for this clip is it is not unfair. I mean, Nick is saying that it's unfair that Piers Morgan is saying that Nick is asking if Nick Fuentes' father might be racist. It's not unfair because it's like Nick himself told a story about his father and stuff like that, and people from what he said, it sounded like he was racist. I mean, and that's fine. But Nick Fuentes just didn't want to speak about his father on on the channel because he didn't want his father to lose his job, and that's fine too. There's nothing wrong with that. I honestly don't think that there's not anything wrong with Nick Fuentes admitting to being racist. Just look at all the shit that black people do in this country. Even myself, me right here, there's certain things that I want. Certain days, certain times. It's a place and time for everything, and black people don't think like that. Not all blacks, but certain the youth. Let's talk about the youth because they're really the problem, and the youth is the problem, and the parents are also the problem. But another thing is like it's not racist to think that a certain group of people are doing too much, and because they're doing too much, I don't want to be around them. It's just fact, but I'm black. I don't take offense to this because I'm not out there committing crime. I'm not part of the problem, but I know my community is also part of the problem, and that's it's all about acknowledging the problem and not running from it. And I just feel like this interview right here, bro, is really gonna show if Nick is backpedaling on a lot of stuff, and so far he's been standing his ground and just owning up to shit, admitting to shit, and that's all everybody. That's I'm pretty I really I'm really sure that that's what a lot of people wanted to see. You know, a lot of people were waiting to see Nick get grilled, cooked, all types of shit, but seems like he's holding his ground so far, man. And I really don't feel like
You've also said
I really this whole interview is gonna. I feel like it's gonna make people even like Nick even more because look, even black people know that blacks are committing a lot of crime and fucking shit up. Okay, and obviously it's not all the blacks doing it, but it's a majority of it are the youth. Uh, conclusion, bro. Everybody is racist. Okay, I'm not gonna be here and hold Nick accountable and be mad at Nick or stop listening to Nick because he says he's racist. Come on now. Everybody is fucking racist. I make race jokes every day, bro. Oh God. Chat, let me know in the comments how y'all feel about this interview. Please like, comment, subscribe. This shit is still going on. Y'all go check it out on Piers Morgan's channel on YouTube. We out. We out of here.